All right, everybody. This is the uncut and unedited version of Delete. This creepypasta will never have a fully edited version. It's way long, and it would honestly take me a lot more time than I'm going to allow myself to do on this creepypasta. But there is my reading of Mother's Love that has an uncut and edited version. So I would, if you want to hear a professional one, just go watch one of those. And I've got EldieWorld here on the
Yeah,
back
I'm
of this
still
chair.
here.
Yeah, he's still here. Um, we're gonna read this and we're gonna talk about it. So yeah. So I'm gonna have verbal mess ups and things.
I'm gonna laugh at him.
Yeah, he's gonna laugh at me. So just bear with it, I guess. This creepypasta is called Delete. It's posted April 11th, 2013. Its length is short, but I think that's a little bit of an understatement. All right. It started with my friend in Japan. He was a hacker and pirate and always left his computer on, along with AIM and MSN. When he logged out on both, I assumed his computer finally died from overload. It was then I noticed all his posts on our favorite sites were gone. All his accounts, all his videos, all his comments.
Sounds like what I'm about to do.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Nathan, and I'm a shut-in. Agoraphobia. I live in North Carolina, and I program for a living. My sister does the shopping for me, and I live in a basement. No windows. That might be very well the only thing that's keeping me safe. That's strange. I woke up about a month ago at 3 a.m. and sat down at my desk, ready to work a bit, but mostly chat. That's when I noticed Kaosrida, Kaossrida, was gone. I didn't know his real name, so don't bother asking. So don't bother asking. Ooh, wow. Besides some spelling issues, he was a fairly good English speaker, and I enjoyed talking to him. He also knew everything about computers, stuff I could never imagine possible. That's why I wasn't worried. It was well within his expertise to hack into sites and delete his own posts. I assumed he had gotten sick of the internet. He'd been complaining about it for years. I tried discussing his disappearance with a mutual friend. He seemed confused, like he was forgetting who Chaos was. This friend was really old. I worried about his mental health. I decided to let it go and talk about sports a bit. This is a really old friend. That's weird. It's like Michael J. Fox and Doc Brown or Marty McFly, obviously his name. I'm old. I can't remember squad. So I talked about sports for a bit. I don't know many computer geeks who also watch sports. By this time, 3 or 4 people had stopped logging on. Not the most unusual thing in the world. People got busy sometimes or just didn't feel like talking. Only their posts disappeared as well. Now it had been a couple of days since Chaos went missing, and I was getting fairly freaked out, so I turned off the computer and watched TV for a while. That's when crap got scary. Let me just censor myself a bit. One of the news anchors was gone. The other would sometimes look to the spot her partner would be and look confused for a while, only to return to speaking as usual. A local show called Three Sisters or something was now Two Sisters, and yes, the third sister was gone. As with the news, sometimes there would be times when the third sister was important, and for a moment they seemed to remember. But then they just kept acting. A cooking show just showed the studio, with no host. I am a rational man, and I was quick to rationalize everything. The news anchor wasn't used to working alone with her partner sick, and the show with the sisters was part of a plot. I wouldn't know. I didn't watch it. The cooking show was harder to explain. Perhaps they left the camera running while they had to leave for some reason, and the network guys didn't notice. I had calmed myself and decided to watch something else. I got a TV guide my sister had gotten me and flipped through it. That's when I noticed the freakiest thing yet. The Two Stooges. I stared blankly at the name, squished between an old Britcom and one of those shows about how good the 50s were. What's a Britcom? Is that a British sitcom?
Probably.
That's ugly. It was soon to start, so I flipped over to the channel. Sure enough, the title screen said The Two Stooges. Surely this was some joke or a ripoff, but no. It started as I remembered it, only with a stooge less. I freaked out and turned off the TV. So here I am. It's been a month and around 100 people are missing that I know of. My sister is gone as well. I'm posting this in every site I can, hopefully reaching as many people as I can. If you can notice the people missing as well, my name is Nate Creek and I live in a small town in North Carolina. Please PM me as soon as possible. There's a little dash. It says, And then there's
Hey, Bob. Bob, help me out here.
the man stared at the computer screen, furrowing his eyebrows. What do you want, Jim? Bob walked over to him, a bored look on his face.
One of the AIs has a glitch.
How so?
Oh, jeez. That's not mine. I deleted several other AIs in an entertainment pack so I could install the new versions, but this AI didn't delete its memories and is panicking currently. I thought it was a lack of support AI because I deleted the sister file as well, but the memory logs show it started much sooner. He's been at his computer for hours.
What's he doing? Working? Creative writing?
That's a big word.
Autobiographical.
Okay, continue.
You're supposed to read that.
I don't want to anymore.
Oh, okay, so now I'm going to have to read this line for him. So just imagine he's reading this. Autobiographical diary, it says. I thought we didn't install that module on this one. It's probably a glitch of some sort. Just delete it and do a clean install with all the others. Jim sighed.
What? I kind of like this one.
It's just a program, Jim. It's not like it's sentient. Jim watched the visual representation of Nate_Creek_5 type furiously.
I guess you're right, Bob.
Jim right-clicked the AI and chose delete.
Man, this one sucked.
Yeah, that was sucked. That was trash. Alright, well, since that was trash and you're already watching this and I'm way too lazy to delete this creepypasta, I'm just...
Delete.
Yeah. There's hide and seek, Home Alone, In the Mirror. I don't want to read that one because I'm already scared of mirrors, to be honest. Mother's Love.
Oh, hey, that's one
Dang,
we
that
just read.
4.5 years. Yeah, this one we just read not too long ago. Peripheral Vision. You want to read that? It's 3.5 stars. It's tiny.
Try to get one with at least 4.
It doesn't look like the tiny ones get ever rated really high except for Mother's
That's
Love.
because you can't write so well in tiny things.
Here's 4 stars. The Licked Hand.
Ew,
It's
gross.
tiny.
Oh, I know that one.
Is it good?
It's okay. It's very
There's
common though.
4.5 stars and it's called The Message. You ever read that?
Sure, go ahead. The licked hand is very common, that's why.
Oh,
I
snap.
don't like it.
That's why you don't like it?
It's very common, like, you always hear it.
Alright, it is literally 3 paragraphs and a sentence at the end, so I'm sure I can actually read this in one take. Don't dismiss this outright as the work of some raving lunatic. There is some sense to this story if you'll just hear me out. Look, we all wonder if time travel is possible, right? Well, let me tell you something. It is. I'm from the future, actually. I know you probably don't believe that, but seriously, I'm from the future. It's a really great thing getting to see the past, watching events unfold, stuff like that. We know more now than we ever would. Behind all the fun, though, there is a more serious aspect. We aren't supposed to go into our own lifetime, and we are never allowed to contact our past selves. Let me tell you, I'm breaking that rule right now. Yes, kid, you're talking to yourself. Your future self. I'm going to be executed for this, but you know what? I accept that. I'm preventing something by talking to you that is worse than death. I can't tell you outright what to do because the filters would catch it. This is the closest I can get, trust me. I can, however, send a little message. You should probably read the first word of every paragraph now. Alright, don't. There's. Okay.
Don't look behind you. What the hell?
Don't look behind you.
Bruh, are you serious? That's weak. How you doing?
Hey, Carlos is behind me.
Weak.
That would have been really scary if I was reading that by myself.
But I'm here. I'm sorry. I messed it up.
Okay, this only got 4.5. The portraits, and it's tiny.
Oh no.
Have you ever read this one?
No.
You ever read this one?
Oh no.
Is it scary?
Shoot, I don't know.
You ever read this?
Huh?
You ever read this?
Nope.
Alright, dude. Well, do you want to read one?
No.
You don't want to read one?
No.
You want me to read one?
I'm gonna mess up.
Alright. Are you sure it's pretty small?
I'm gonna mess it up.
Alright, I'll read it.
I'm gonna be like, yeah.
That one was a lot easier to read because it was straightforward talking. It wasn't narrating. This one's narrating, so. This is called The Portraits. And it's tiny. It got 4.5 stars. It's a a tie for the highest one we've read so far with Mother's Love. I'll just clear my throat, I guess. There was a hunter in the woods who, after a long day of hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until he was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door open. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around the inside of the cabin, he was surprised to see the walls adorned by several portraits, all painted in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred and malice. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable, making a concerted effort to ignore the many hateful faces. He turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. The next morning, the hunter awoke. He turned, blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. Oh, that's weird. That's pretty good. That's weird.
I like that. I mean,
that was good.
It's okay.
I didn't expect that. The Red Cross, the Tunnel Run. Oh no, the Trap. You ever read the Trap?
Sounds like a hentai.
This one literally has 2 stars.
How bad can it be?
Oh, that's pretty big.
Oh, never mind. That looks like bad writing.
Yeah, that's so trash. Upstairs. Waking Nightmare. Whistling, white with red. Who was phone?
Who was phone?
Alright, I have to read this. So you're with your homie, and you're making out when the phone rings. You answer it, and the voice says, "What you're doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl, and she said, "My dad is dead." Then who was phone?
Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
Stupid, man. I can't go to bed now.
Make that 100. Make that a 5 all star. Yeah.
Is that it?
Who's in my bed? Okay. This is like a sentence. I begin tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, hiding under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed." That gave me cold chills. That gave me cold chills just then.
I've seen a comic like that before. It's
that
like
gave me cold chills, dude. I'm like, that's weird. Because I've seen a video just like that. Have you seen that?
I've seen like a comic of that.
Have you seen the video?
No.
It's so weird. It's this dad tucking in his son.
Thing?
I don't know. It's this dad
Because
tucking his kid in the bed.
Version of it too. It's like these brown people. It's like, "Daddy, check out my bed for the boogeyman."
It's the one I saw was his dad tucking his kid in the bed, and he goes, "Good night, son, I love you." And he's walking over to the door, and then his son like walks into the door frame and goes, "Dad, who are you talking to?" And then he turns around at the bed and he grabs his kid, like grabs him and runs and slams the door on the way out. And the camera's like way up. You know it's fake though, because nobody plants a camera in this kid's room.
Yep.
So you know it's staged. You know he probably has 2 kids.
Yep.
But it's still weird to think. It's weird.
I saw a comic for it. That's all I know. That's all I remember. Man, that's pretty cool.
That was a good one. They gave me cold chills. So, wristbands.
Oh, I ain't looking at Naruto.
You wanna read this?
What?
Alright, well.
When you are admitted to the hospital.
Whoa, don't do that yet. Hold this.
Whoa, dude, I wasn't playing. I was playing.
Oh, you were playing? You weren't trying to read this? Alright. When you're admitted to a
hospital,
they place on your... You gotta keep going. When you're admitted to a hospital, they place on your wrist a white wristband with your name on it. But there are other different colored wristbands which symbolize other things. The red ones are placed on dead people. There was one surgeon who worked on night shift in a school hospital. He had just finished an operation and was on his way down to the basement. He entered the elevator, and there was just one other person there. He casually chatted with the woman while the elevator descended. When the elevator opened, another woman was about to enter when the doctor slammed the close button and punched the button to the highest floor. Surprised, the woman reprimanded the doctor for being rude and asked why he did not let the other woman in. The doctor said, "That was the woman I just operated on. She died while I was doing the operation. Didn't you see the red wristband she was wearing?" The woman smiled, raised her arm, and said something like this. That's dumb. Why was that so high rated? 4 stars? That's trash. It straight up tells you the red wristbands are placed on dead people. You immediately know. That's an inside thing, though. Like, if...
They ruined it at the last line, in my opinion.
Yeah, that last line was way too short.
Something like this. That's cheesy, bro.
Alright, let's read one more, because this is about 15 minutes. I don't want to look at that picture.
Look at that SEO. Where I'll put freaking fingerprints.
That's just how it has to be. Only that.
1999. That's our birth year, bro.
Where?
Right there.
Where?
Right. To the right, to the right.
How long is it?
It's huge. Never mind. Get out of here.
No, excuse me.
That's a medium.
Oh. I read to that. I read to this. I thought that was like the last killer line. My job was to tend to the many newborns and ensure that each baby was taken home with their proper parents. I was like, wow, what a twist.
Well, dog.
As I thought, yeah, it looks like it ends like that with the 4 dots. It looks like that's how it's supposed to end. Hey, let's do tongues. It's the highest rated this week, 3.5.
I've never been a very sociable kid.
I'm just gonna read the first sentence of everyone.
To be completely honest.
I've never been a very sociable kid, to be completely honest. I've never really seen the point of it. People talking about the same things over and over again. Meaningless things. The weather, the weekend, work, school. As I've gotten into my late teens, yeah, we're all the same, I've grown to loathe it. Whenever I hear the kids in my classes or in the halls talking about the same old crap and giggling, my blood boils. People avoid me mostly, which can be expected. A few of the more brutish kids pick on me, but I just ignore them. I spend my weekends alone indoors. I like to play the piano in my spare time. It's very therapeutic. It's like my meditation. When I'm playing it, I usually think about life. I think about people and my general dislike towards them. And then I think about the kids who pick on me at school, and I think about the recent disappearances of kids in my surrounding area. They were all kids of similar age to myself, mostly girls, some even from my school, my classes. There have been 8 in total. I've been keeping track of them, you see. I follow their stories in the newspapers quite closely. I'm very keen on what the police find at the scene and always keep an eye out for any evidence they find that might lead them to the killer. The profiles are always the same. They are usually discovered in the back alleys or in ditches, always with their throats slit in a clean and precise manner. The curious part, the police can't seem to figure out, is why the victims always have their tongues removed, ripped out from their jaws. And I quote the newspaper when I say this, while the victims were still alive. They say it's the worst serial killing they've had in my country for years. The killer is calm, meticulous, and leaves not one shred of evidence at the crime scenes. Whatever the reason, my classes have been getting noticeably quieter as the noisiest of the kids have one by one gone missing, only to be found days later, mutilated and dumped as if they were trash. It's so much more pleasant. I can concentrate properly now. There's still one girl in my class, though, who really grinds my gears with her high-pitched, whiny voice, that piercing laugh that seems to penetrate deep into my skull every time I had the displeasure of hearing it. I heard her again today, loud and irritating as usual, and couldn't help thinking that she used that tongue of hers far too much. I might even go as far as to say she didn't deserve it to have it at all. It's weird. Let's take a weird twist. Did you know that was going to happen from the very beginning?
I was like, yep. Weak.
And that was alright. That's real.
In 1988, an unknown broadcast overtook several UHP stations in the Midwestern United States for 6 consecutive nights.
But that's real, though. Like, that's an actual thing. Now, I just twisting around stuff that actually happens. Like, that broadcast is real. It's just, it doesn't do those things. It's just, what is it, Russian or something like that? Tags apocalypse? What? How is this scary? Let's do canned food.
Oh, dude, you should have done like Bill back.
Yeah, we can do a few more. That's short though. Oh, well, that's not actually that short. That should have been in tiny. Alright.
All around me are the sounds of panic and horror. Gunshots filled the once silent air. People in white lab coats screaming and running past my room.
How far are you gonna go with that? Is that it?
Structure.
Alright. Around me are the sounds of panic and horror. Gunshots fill the once silent air. It says silence. Silent air, and people in white lab coats are screaming and running past my room. I know that they are because I can see them through the reflective wall that shows my own reflection. How is this possible, you might ask? Well, I was once the hope for humanity. This is how it began. I was 13 and still had some sort of life stitched together, if you could call it that. My father was non-existent, and my mother trying to form a life out of broken pieces scattered all over the floor. I had no social life. I still find it very hard to open up to people and even share my ideas. I was a loner, and my only friends were books. I always knew there was something wrong with me. I never talked to anyone, which made people think I was dim-witted, but I was actually very smart. In 7th grade, I was taking algebra and so on. Next is the fact I hear voices. I shouldn't say voices. It's mostly one voice telling me what will happen. Oh my goodness, stop. The bombing of 9/11 or a volcano that will bring the deaths of thousands across the globe. Oh my goodness.
Can we stop?
No, I want to read this. Sometimes I hear the dialogue associated with the event, a newborn child crying or an old person dying of cancer breathing in their last breath. I am sorry, I'm probably boring you. Yeah, you are. But I will cut to the point.
You freaking meme. He's probably a meme kid. He's just edgy.
He probably is. Last week, World War III began, and an infectious disease spread like wildfire across the country. Oh, how original. It made people go crazy, not like zombies, but worse. These creatures' flesh started peeling off like the peel of a banana, leaving white bones sticking out at strange angles, and the red muscle showing only the eyes of these once... What? And showing the red muscle, and the red muscle showing. That's how it should have ended. It said only. That doesn't make any sense. The eyes of these once normal people would turn red, filling with blood and hiding their irises and pupils. I don't think this person knows how to write. These people still had their intelligence, but lost sense of what was right and wrong. They killed others, not infecting, but killing them in the goriest, inhuman ways possible. The only way to become one of them was to have their poisonous blood seep into your body, making parts of your mind diminish until the part that made you was gone. That made you was gone. The scientists that came to me... Huh?
The scientists that came to me, I had no idea how they found me.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. The scientists that came to me, I had no idea how they found me. I guess that makes sense. My mother had just died from one of these red fiends, leaving me alone in the world, detached from this murder-ridden society. I will not say how she died, because it will surely give you nightmares for the rest of your life. I agreed to help to try to save humanity, to gain vengeance for my sweet mother's death. Oh my gosh. I was able to see where the creatures would strike, to save lives before they were lost. I would prevent casualties before they happened, and the scientists provided me with a home and this sense of good. I was finally helping others. It was no use. The head scientist got infected, and out of fear of dying, did not report this. He infected others in the complex, and this is where I am today, locked in my room and hearing screams and grunts from the other rooms. I am probably the only survivor left. It is strange the internet is still working here, but here's the story of how humanity failed to save humanity from itself. Goodbye. Bye. Humanity is obviously still going. That's not.
Weak.
Yep. I don't think apocalypse creepypastas are ever gonna be good. Yeah, they're not really highly rated. There's only like 4 tiny ones. Yeah, I think I'm done reading these creepypastas. This has been almost 25 minutes. So, yeah, we had some week old creepypastas. We had a few good ones, and by a few I mean like 2. So yeah, thanks for watching this. Subscribe to EldieWorld. Subscribe to me. Yeah. So see you guys later. Peace.